Not gonna lie, I always thought my goat Mamitome was the oldest magical girl and the magical girl who is in the business longer than any other magical girl, since it was stated that she did this magical girl business every day for around 3 to 4 years, meaning she either started her magical girl journey when she was 11 and died when she was 15 years old. But thanks to the game Magia Record, we know that Yashio Nanami was a magical girl for 7 years, meaning she started her magical girl journey when she was 12 and still continues it after reaching 19 years old. But also Kyubey mentioned that many important women throughout human history were in fact magical girls. For example, the female pharaoh Cleopatra was in the Madoka Magica universe a magical girl, and if she still died the same way she died in our world, she would have been 39 years old before she killed herself. Then again, there also exists a lot of older magical girls in the spin-off series of Madoka Magica, The Legend of Jeanne d'Arc. One of these examples would be Queen Isobia, who was the Queen of France back in the day, as well as a magical girl, and who died when she was 65 years old. But we can't forget Penere Flamel from the spin-off series The Legend of Jeanne d'Arc, who most likely is many hundreds of years old, since she created the legendary sword Epée de Clovis for Clovis, the man who would become the first king of the Franks, who was born in the year 466 and died in the year 511. Pernelle Flamel herself died in the year 1431. This was only possible due to the fact that her husband was Nicolas Flamel, the creator of the Philosopher's Stone, which is the elixir of immortality. But you probably will be asking, why didn't these two women started witching out after learning the truth about magical girls? Well, they did learn about the truth of magical girls, but here's the problem. They didn't freak out after hearing that. They just kind of went like, oh, okay, so I should probably take care of that and don't freak out when my soul gem becomes tainted. Got it. Kind of a dick move, Kyubey, but whatever. But these magical girls were rather way back in the past. So what about the current magical girls? What would be the oldest magical girl in the current century during the time of the Madoka Magica anime? Well, we do know about one magical girl who reached the mid-30s. This being the witch Roberta. You know, the cage witch Homura fought in episode 10? Don't worry, I also didn't remember her, but we will make videos about witches. Don't worry about that. What is important to know that Roberta was stated to become a witch when she entered her mid-20s or mid-30s, because after living a long time as a magical girl, she grew weaker as she was no longer a girl, and therefore when she finally turns herself into a witch, the barrier is a reflection of how she would have turned out in the future around her 40s and showcase the things that she desired, this being alcohol and books. But what about Homura? Physically she's 14 years old, but mentally she's around 26 years old, since she retried the same month for hundreds of times. If that's not a skill issue, I don't know what it is. Homura takes more L's than the bloody immortal. Put the fries in the back, Homura, and let Subaru take over. But since she didn't age physically and her mentality stayed the same, I won't count her as the oldest current magical girl. However, I will count this magical girl as the current oldest and the all-time oldest magical girl in the entirety of Madoka Magica's history. And that being none other than Madoka herself, since she's literally a goddess who goes around eliminating witches before they are born throughout time and space and in different universes. If that's not old, I don't know what it is. So in conclusion, you can only become old enough as a magical girl when you either find a husband who knows the secret of immortality, don't care that Kyubey made you a living energy source and are doomed to witch out, or have enough karmic power and godlike power to turn yourself into a goddess and become older than all the universes combined. That was it for today. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.